Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at an older product but one that is still very good for what it offers, and that is the Final Piece by Tenyo. A really interesting product that is one of the cheapest on the market for this type of effect. This is basically almost 100 times cheaper than some of the effects that you can buy on the market that do the same thing. So it is interesting, and I think it is something that if you have not picked up, because it is going out of stock and in stock a lot because a lot of people keep buying it, so they keep stocking it. So maybe you've had this in your cart, went out of stock, you forgot it existed, so that's why I'm making a review to put it back on your radar if you are so inclined to want to learn more about it. So enough said about that. Let's roll the intro and get straight into the review. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the final piece. So what is the final piece? The final piece is essentially a puzzle effect where a specter is going to select a random piece of a puzzle and it will always match your prediction. And I think the best way for me to showcase this is to give you a small performance of the actual effect. So the way that it works is you would introduce to your spectator this box, or it could be a cup, it could be whatever you want. It doesn't have to be this box. You would then proceed to tell them that inside, as you can see, they have a bunch of puzzle pieces. And within these puzzle pieces, you have corner pieces, you have pieces with a face, you have pieces with like a landscape. You have essentially a bunch of different pieces going from corners to middle pieces to four-way pieces to two-way pieces, and they could look at some of them and see that as well. You then close back the box and you ask them to take it and shuffle it. So they shuffle everything like this. So they would shuffle everything until they want to stop. Now, normally they would open and dump it on the table, but for sake of actual performance and not having to clean everything back up afterwards, we're just gonna do it like this. So normally they would dump it on the table and they would pick any piece that they cannot see. So they would look through and take any piece that is facing, you know, the opposite way, and they would place it to the side. And you say, look, you agree. You could even have had a piece with an eye on it, right? You could have had a different array of selections, no matter your choices, but you chose this piece. And I do want to ask you, because you've been playing around with these pieces, do you even know what these pieces are from? They're going to say a puzzle, but do you know what puzzle? Some people will recognize the color scheme and will maybe say what it actually is, the Mona Lisa. But if they don't, you say, oh, it actually is a representation of the Mona Lisa in puzzle form. And then you could reveal that over here, you have actually recreated the puzzle available, you know, for them to see. And then you say, I want you to do the honors, take the piece and see if it matches. And of course, it is going to be the final piece to complete your puzzle. And that is essentially the effect that you are getting. So now that you know that, let's talk about where you purchase this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can get this pretty much anywhere. It is a Tenyo product, which means it is also distributed with Murphy's, and you will get it pretty much anywhere. So look at your local magic dealers to your favorite magic dealer, you will find it there. It will set you back 25 USD, which is around 30 something Canadian dollars. And what you get with your purchase is this box. Inside of this box, you're gonna get the puzzle here. This is not an actual puzzle. You don't actually have to build the puzzle. It's a puzzle made out of 4 pieces, so it's easily taken apart and easily put together. You're gonna get the puzzle. You're gonna get the puzzle pieces. They're gonna come in a cardboard, and you have to singly, one by one, take them out. So you're gonna get the puzzle pieces, and you're also gonna get this plastic box. Now, I'm not a big fan of this plastic box. It was a hell to put together. I even had to put scotch tape to hold. But the box doesn't matter. The box is not gimmicked. You don't need the box to perform. As I said, you can easily do this in a cup. You can easily do this in a bowl. You can easily do this in a tray. You can easily do this in a Ziploc bag. It doesn't have to be this box. But yeah, the box to me feels a bit cheap and is a bit flimsy. You know, it's like I wouldn't necessarily go somewhere with a box like this taped together. It looks bad. I don't know. I suck at DIY, and this is the prime example of why I can't even put together a simple plastic box. That's just to tell you how bad I am add that, but you're going to get that provided to you. You do not get this. This is my own thing that I use for when I do tarot effects or Zener effects or cartomancy effects. That is not provided to you. So you will need either a stand or a cloth or something to cover the puzzle for performance that you're going to need to buy yourself. So that's everything that you get with your purchase. Now let's talk about difficulties. How difficult is this to perform? This is incredibly easy to perform. I mean, it is self-working. There are no moves, no slides, no switches, nothing that you have to worry about. The only thing is doing your scripting and doing it correctly, and that is pretty much it. It is self-working, and anyone could do it. Like, I could literally tell someone on the street how this works in literally 30 seconds, and they could probably go out to the next person and perform it as well as anyone. So it is very easy to perform. In terms of practicality and carrying capacity, you will have to carry around this with you and this with you. Now, as I said, this, you don't actually have to carry it like this. It does rip apart. By rip apart, I mean you disassemble it, and it takes you 1 second to do, and you get 4 pieces. And I think it's not really giving away the method if I do that, but it is like this. It does come in 4 pieces, and you can see how easily I detach them and how easily I could just stack them and place them somewhere to carry them around, okay? So it is very easy to carry the pieces and the box. If you want, you can carry the box with you, but if you don't, as I said, you can use any other recipient to carry the things around with you. So as long as you have this and the puzzle pieces, you're good to go. You also need a cover, and that's pretty much it. I would personally put these in this, fold it together, and then have the pieces in a small Ziploc bag and do it like that. Okay, that's how I would probably do it. And when I get to the event, I would ask for a bowl or a cup and dump them inside. But carrying capacity wise, as long as you have those pieces, you're good to go. In terms of reset, the reset is basically, you saw me reset it. That's all you have to do. In terms of repeatability, the effect cannot be repeated. It will always be the same result. In terms of needing a table, you do 100% need a table to perform this effect. And regarding inspectability, as I said, this is the age-old debate of if the spectator handles the props the entire way through, are they inspectable because they've been handled by them even though they haven't looked at them? Does that mean they're inspected or not? If your definition of inspected is they've used this all the way through the effect, they've mixed them, they've touched them, they've chosen, they've looked at them, etc., that's enough for you to consider it inspectable, then it 100% is. If for you inspectability is the spectator after the effect looking at all the pieces and examining them, then maybe it is not inspectable. But overall, I do have to say that it is pretty inspectable by most stretch of the means, okay? Now that we've covered that, let's talk about where do you perform this effect. Now, clearly this is not an effect designed for close-up performances or table hopping performances or anything like that. This is designed for stage, cabaret, and parlor, and I don't have to say much more than that because it is pretty self-explanatory. You will not have the place to put a fully fledged puzzle somewhere without anyone seeing in a walk around or cocktail scenario. It is just impossible. So having said that, this is only restrained to those specific performing scenarios. Also casual, like if you're doing this at your house or a friend's house, you could easily set it up. But in those types of performances is where it excels. So having said all of that, let's get into the positives and negatives of the effect. First of all, let's get into the negatives. The only negative that I have about this effect is that the box is quite a hassle to put together. I don't know if it's just me or maybe my box was a bit malformed, but as you can see, it's like constantly warping and it's hard, like even when I take it apart, it's hard to close it back up. It's just a flimsy prop, but also for the amount of money that you pay for this, you know, look at this is, you know, I don't want to imagine myself on stage or whatever performing this and having trouble closing the box because it just seems fishy. Even though the box is not gimmicked, having that much problems closing a box may lead people to think that something fishy is going on. So my only complaint, which is not even a complaint in itself, is that the box is very cheap. And if I might add, the instructions are pretty poor in regards to assembling the box. They're very poor. They're, it's like 2-3 lines of how to assemble the box and you don't understand anything. And yeah, so that's my only complaint about it is the box. But again, the box is not crucial for the effect. You could do it with any other thing that you want. But that's the only bad thing that I have to say about this effect. In terms of positives, it is extremely cheap. As I said, there are effects such as these that sell for, I checked online, so this is not a lie, that sell for 550 USD, for 1,180 USD, and there's, I think, even one for 1,800 if you buy the deluxe edition USD, which is around 3,000 Canadian. And the effects are the exact same. So for the price that you're paying here, you're getting an absolute steal. Yes, the other effects have a more generative sense of a free choice, but in the end, if you really think about it, when you ask a spectator what happened, whether you do this effect or the $1,800 effect, they're going to tell you, oh, he had a puzzle, I randomly chose a piece without knowing, and the piece matched. Whether you do this or the other version, the result is going to be the same. So it is extremely cheap. It's nice that the puzzle is easy to carry around if you are performing. It's nice that also nothing really is gimmicked. The puzzle pieces are gimmicked. In a way, they're not, you get what I mean, but it's nice that you don't need a special recipient that's gimmicked or anything like that. It is very low tech, bare bones method, easy to do, can be performed without worry. You can focus on your scripting, and it's a very unique and fun effect as well to perform. It's different to what most people do. It's unique, it's fun, it's engaging. People know puzzles, people know the Mona Lisa, and it really packs a punch when, in terms of the impossibility of the effect, okay? So overall, would I recommend this? If you liked what you saw, and you want an effect like this and you see how you could play it into your show, and I think a lot of people can, for the money, you cannot find better. You can honestly not find better than this, so I fully recommend it. What am I giving final piece out of 10? I'm giving it a 9 on 10. I think it is a very good product. It does what it's supposed to do. It's cheap, it's easy to carry around, can be performed worry-free. Nothing will ever go wrong. I think it's just absolutely great, and that's all I have to say about it. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask them down below. It will be my utmost pleasure to answer them. But having said all of this, thank you all for watching the review, and I'll see you all in my next one. Have a good one, and bye-bye.